Hi, this is Eric Martin with Board Game Geek. I'm here with Amanda at Gen Con 2018, getting an advanced look at the river coming from Days of Wonder at Spiel 2018. I did not know that this game would be here, but Amanda graciously offered to give us a little overview of this game from Ismael Perrin and Sebastian Pochon. So maybe you can, obviously we have a river.
Yes.
What are we doing on it? Or we are building our own river.
Yes, you are building up your own river settlement area throughout the course of the game. Of course, your ultimate goal is to score victory points, and you're going to score victory points by constructing these buildings that need resources. In order to get resources, your land needs to be capable of producing resources. So you might send your pioneers out to help build up your river settlement. You always build in order of the river, and you can eventually get points for placement of tiles around the river too. And then you might send a pioneer out after everybody else takes a turn. You could send a pioneer out to produce some resources. So I would count up the clay that my river is capable of producing, and I would produce that amount of clay, and then I would store it in my river settlement area in the little storehouses.
Okay.
And then eventually, when I have enough resources to build a building, this player currently does, then I would take the build a building action. I would spend the resources listed on the card, 2 stone and 2 wood, and then I would build the building. Now, a cool thing about this game is that it encourages you to build early instead of hoarding all of your resources. Whoever builds first gets the first bonus victory point tile, and then these descend in value throughout the course of the game.
Okay.
So you are encouraged not to hoard your resources. No one likes that guy. So that's the biggest way you get victory points, is by building up these these buildings, and then getting bonus points. You can also score points depending on how you place tiles along your river. If you fill in these other spots, and at the end of the game you have a column with the same terrain type, this Badlands for example, in that column, you get extra points, victory points at the end of the game depending on how far down the column you managed to get that same terrain type.
Okay.
A few of these bonus points also exist on tiles. You can get bonus points at the end of the game simply for having a couple of these tiles along your river.
Which give you special powers during the game as well, I imagine, for
yes.
doing particular
Every
things.
cleanup phase you would get a resource from this one. And this one doesn't give you any powers during the game, but it does give you a point at the end of the game for each forest terrain type tile that you have out on your river.
Okay.
So yeah, you can swap tiles if you need to. Once you place them down, you're not totally locked in, but it will cost you an action.
You can just change the landscape?
Just a little bit. You just take
Okay.
2 tiles. Your pioneers are incredible in this game.
So, that's right. We have to, plow the fields. Get that out there.
There's also a wild resource, food, represented by this cute little turkey. So there are mechanics around being able to get that wild resource, and even if it's all gone, taking a different resource of your choice. So yeah, overall, it only takes about 30 to 45 minutes to play. It does have 2 player boards on the backs of all of these, and it's going to retail for $39.99. It's a little bit on the lighter side of role-playing games, good for someone who's not quite as used to role-playing games, or trying to convince a parent to play maybe who hasn't played a whole lot of games, or families, or just the normal gamer who wants a little bit of a lighter, faster experience.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Amanda.
My pleasure.
Quick overview of the river.